Welcome back to the Passive Road to Retirement podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Jarrett. Today, we're joined by Felecia Froe. Felecia is the owner of Money with Mission, an investment company focused on empowering professional women to build wealth and achieve financial freedom through social impact investing. As a real estate syndicator, Felecia has partnered with like-minded investors and has raised money for several social impact projects. In addition to real estate investing, Dr. Froe is a licensed urological surgeon with over 20 years of experience. She has written many best-selling books, including How to Create Wealth That Outlives You. Plus, she's an advocate for sharing the great work others are doing for their community through her podcast, Money with Mission podcast. Felecia, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate you having me.
It's great to have you on.
Finally, just a transparency, you guys. Andrew and I have tried this 2 other times, and my Wi-Fi has been terrible.
Yes.
So looks like we're doing okay this time.
Yeah, this time it seems to be going really well. So knock on wood.
Yes.
So I guess, yeah, Felecia, for our viewers, if you don't mind, maybe just a little background about, how you went from being a doctor essentially, or still are, and into syndications in the world of real estate.
Yeah, I came from a family who are professionals, but kind of first generation professionals. So our mindset was, or is, like their mindset is go to school, get a job, work there till you retire. And you want to go and get a great job so that you can make a lot of money. And it was all about trading time for dollars for my parents. And I mean, that's what I did. I went to medical school, residency, became one of the first 100 female urologists in the country.
Oh, wow.
Don't ask me why, but that's a whole thing. And have got my first practice. I worked in Minnesota in my first practice, and about 3 years into that, with a lot of let me back up a little bit. You can imagine as being one of the first 100 female urologists in the country, there's a lot of urologists. The guys were not used to that. And even so, I'm going to admit to now up to 30 years of urology practice. So I finished my residency in 93. And the guys just weren't used to women. And there was still a whole patriarchal thing there, as well as I want to say discrimination, but it was just a lack of understanding and seeing how women were a little different. For example, having a child. I had a hard time getting them to understand that I needed at least 6 weeks off after I had my baby. So there was a lot of issues going on, just a lot of stress in that. Mm-hmm. And about 3-4 years in, I was like, this isn't the last thing I'm ever going to do. And that was not even from myself. It felt like it came from outside of me telling me this isn't the last thing. Which is pretty scary because I had just finished my residency and finished medical school and finished undergrad, which built at that time 5 figures of debt for us. So you're like, okay, wait, I was supposed to have this job that's going to help me pay off all this debt and be my, lifelong thing. And I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
It took me a while to come to terms with that. And actually I got that hit and I was like, but what am I supposed to do? That was kind of like, this is what I know. And at that time I was talking to other physicians, telling them the story. They're like, well, what else can you do? You're a doctor. What else can you do? Over the years, I came to realize I'm a doctor. I went to medical school. I did a residency. I can do anything.
I got through that. Yeah.
I can do a few things. Mm-hmm. Anyway, came down to, I joined a group of women physicians. We bought a building, and the woman that helped us go through that real estate transaction introduced me to Rich Dad Poor Dad, which was just so eye-opening and mind-blowing to think about money in that kind of way. And it was shortly after that we started buying our own real estate. We bought single family houses like so many people do when you start out. And we got our first one with the help of a friend and it wasn't financial help, it was just mindset help to get us to jump off of a small curb. When you hear the deal, it was very small, but it was very scary, right? When you're doing something for the very first time, whether it's your first law case, your first in front of a judge, your first surgery, your first whatever, it's scary.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, okay, well, I didn't die and nothing bad happened. And the person that helped me in that deal took all the risk out of it. She said, if it doesn't work, I'll buy this thing from you. All the risk was gone. And when that worked, we went fast. We bought 18 properties in 2 years, needed various forms of rehab, da 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 da. And then we found out in 2008 and 2009, we knew absolutely nothing because we were in a deep hole of debt and needed more money, and money wasn't there. And all these properties they needed so much. We finally had to just walk away from all of that, which was very painful because I don't quit anything.
Mhm.
And it was either walk away from this or dig a really, really deep hole that your family may not ever get out of.
Yeah.
So that's the long story of how I got into real estate. Once we got past that, I actually had the mindset when I was walking away from that, because I mean, the things that hit you hard are, number one, you're a loser. That's the first thing. It's like, how did I let this happen?
Sure.
I also knew that I could walk away from it and still get back into real estate, because I still knew that real estate was the vehicle I wanted to use.
Mhm.
Wasn't 100% sure where I wanted to go, but I knew that was the vehicle I wanted to use. And I knew that my credit score, which took a gigantic hit, it's not the only way you can buy real estate. You can get real estate in all kinds of ways. So I had done that, enough education to know that. So that's what I started to rebuild. After that, got into a bunch of rooms with people a lot smarter than me on the real estate front. Doctors tend to think we know everything. We get a little big headed sometimes, and then realize, at least I did, I know a lot about urology. I can tell you all you need to know about urology. And if there's something about urology I don't know, I know where to go. And so that's how I kind of now take in my real estate. I know a lot about a lot in real estate, and there's a whole bunch I don't know. So I need to have those people on my team who I can reach out to, or just people in my network that I can reach out to understand what I don't understand. Or it's like, this is just a little weird to me. Can you help me understand this? That same thing in every other aspect of our lives. It's just a lot of times we don't think about it in a new aspect. Excuse me. So that's how I got into syndication. I got into those rooms. I learned about syndication. First of all, I didn't even know what that was. Learned about what that was, then ultimately found the more social impact kind of things that more fill me than multifamily. Those were interesting. Resort properties, all those kinds of things are very interesting and make you money. Great. It was the wanting to make a difference that I didn't even realize I had in me, honestly, until I found the senior living types things, and then learned about affordable housing and all those kinds of things that got me to money with mission and investing for social impact.
Hey, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this episode. Are you ready to maximize your real estate investing to its full potential? Send an email to andrew@jarrettcapital.com and take your life and business to all new levels. That's Andrew@JARRETT capital.com. So that's incredible. I mean, I guess at what stage did you realize you wanted to do that social impact investing? And do you think that had anything to do with maybe your career in healthcare and helping people like that already?
I think it probably did. And not necessarily my career in healthcare, but what got me to healthcare in the first place. Most physicians go in wanting to help and wanting to make a difference. And be perfectly honest, we know that they're going to have a really fairly good salary or income with that. So those things together got me into medicine. And then I think those things together have gotten me into the social impact side of real estate investing and business investing, and just knowing that it is possible to make money and make a difference. That's the number one thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess what do you going back to the real estate side, how do you feel about multifamily versus single family? Did you like obviously the multifamily better, it seems like?
So multifamily, let me put it this way. I think both can work well. I think one single family house is not the best thing. I mean, it's actually, when you have one, it's hard. It's really hard. When you have 100, you've got economies of scale, and it's as good to me as having 100-unit multifamily complex. So however you want to do that, you can buy portfolios of single families. You can invest in a multifamily deal, multi-million-dollar multifamily deal. It doesn't matter to me. It's more about for the impact part, it's you buy a building, you buy a bunch of houses, and you make that neighborhood better, but not forcing people out. So it's a matter of how you put together your deal so that the people that are living there, it's not the air quotes gentrification that's just driving up prices so that that people are displaced. So that's the bigger thing when I'm thinking about doing that type of thing. So I one or the other is fine with me. I don't really have a overall preference. I would prefer to buy a bunch of single family houses as opposed to picking off one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I've kind of done both, and I agree. Once you get to, I'd say 25 units, maybe, or so, that's when you get more economies of scale. You can afford somebody part-time. But there is always something nice about 100 unit with third-party management.
You could have third party management with your 20, 30 single families. And like, it's there. I have 4 single families plus the other syndication type things. I have third party. I never want to hear from a tenant. I never, ever. And a lot of physicians and a lot of professionals, we're the type A control everything and want to just like single family so I can be in charge of it, so I can know everything. And it's like, it is another job when that's what you're doing. And if you're working 40, 60 hours a week already on your W-2 income job, you don't have time for that. It's just, it makes it so difficult, and it makes it feel like real estate's not the answer to you. The easier way is to factor in the management fees so that your deal works. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. I guess coming back from that 2008, where you had to walk away, how did you overcome that mindset to get back in the game, after having that happen?
Yeah, for me, it was knowing that you did a bunch of dumb things. It was a grow too fast kind of issue, and realizing that it was a me problem and not a real estate problem. And where do I get that? I don't know. My husband and I had some disagreements over what the issue was. He felt real estate wasn't our thing, and I felt like, yeah, no, it's just like we didn't play this game right, and we didn't have enough education. And I don't even know if I thought education was like, we just didn't play the game right. If these books are telling me this is the way to go, then we just didn't do it right. That's the bottom line. It's like having a complication in your surgery. It's like, it's not that the surgery was wrong. It's like, you got to go back and review what you did that caused this problem. And maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just the circumstances, but you have to look at your part in whatever a problem is, to me, rather than it's all external thing. And once we do that, we can really start to make changes and grow and improve all the things that we do, including our investing, including our surgeries, including our in front of a judge speeches. Like, what do you call? I don't even call that our arguments in front
Yeah.
as an attorney.
Opening arguments, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
No,
it really was a look at how did I contribute to this problem? What didn't I see? What didn't I know? And getting in the room with people who also hadn't seen it, but we could all start to look at it and say, what did we miss? And go back to before and see all the things that led up to what happened. The signs were there. The signs were all there. We just didn't know that those were the signs. So now when things are going whatever direction they're going now, you can start looking and say, okay, this could be a potential problem. That could be a potential problem. And it's not that you don't invest, it's that you just learn how to mitigate all those risks. Do you have to have more capital on hand than you thought you needed than you might have usually had to have? Do you need to have, whatever? You just work to mitigate the risks when you can see the potential problems. Can you see all the problems? No, you can't. You can't. But as my friends have told me, if you have enough money and the problem you have is solved by money, then you can solve your problem.
That's true.
Being well capitalized is key all the time in real estate.
Yeah, good point. Capital solves a lot of issues. That's for sure. Being well capitalized and having plenty of reserves is not a bad thing. That's for sure.
Exactly. Sometimes your investors aren't getting quite what they thought they were going to get, just because, okay, you're going to get it. It's just not coming as fast as we thought, because we want to make sure we can weather any storms that come down the road. And as long as I think we can have that conversation, have them understand, then things go well, which turns to the thing about that I like most about private investing and off Wall Street investing is, the person you're investing with, you can
Yeah.
have those kind of conversations with them compared to your Wall Street broker, and you don't know they are investing in companies for you, but you have no control over those companies and have no understanding of what they're doing there or why they're doing it, and guarantee you're going to be the last one to make money in any of those deals.
Yeah. If you
We get the
invest in,
leftovers off of those.
yeah, like you said, if you invest in Coca-Cola, it's not like you can call up the CEO and start asking him questions, right? Versus the syndication where you can reach out to the sponsor. Big difference.
I mean, that's just so key to me, to understand who you're giving your money to. So key. And I never thought about that before I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and got around the people that I've gotten around. Before that, it was give your money to that person's hand, put it in a suitcase, give it to that hand from around the corner, and hopefully it'll come back to you someday. With more friends. Actually, I don't even think I thought about that as like, I just please get my money back to me. Now it's send my money out. My money needs to come back with some friends.
Right.
Don't come back by yourself. No, come back with some friends.
Bring some friends back. We'll have a party. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny. So I guess, end of July 2023 is when we're recording this. What are you looking forward to the most right now? And is there anything that maybe has you a little nervous or, keeps you up at night or anything like that?
No, what keeps me up at night is probably just that I don't sleep very well. Not too much about the economy. I mean, the economy is what the economy is. You just play the game that you're in. That's the bottom line. We're on whatever. I mean, if you just think about it all as a game, these are the rules. Oh, the rules changed. Okay, now I have to figure out how to play with these rules. There's no sense to get upset about it. It's just, these are the rules. How do I play with these rules? And then you go. I can't say I'm really worried about a lot of stuff. I think about, the number one thing I worry about is Wall Street, and always have been, and how it's all manipulated and how so many people are still putting their money there, hoping it's going to be there for their retirement. Right. Even the 401k that people, it's like, it's astonishing to me that I talk to a lot of women and they're investing, they're putting like as much as they can to their 401k. And I'm like, well, say, what are you going to do if you have a problem between now and the time you're going to retire?
Yeah.
And what if they change those rules about retirement? And what if, we just don't think about all those things? Having these other forms of cash flow, there's nothing about, I'm not against a 401k. I just don't think that should be your be all and end all for your retirement. And that whole word is changing what it means. I mean, I don't even know what retirement means anymore.
Yeah.
Other than you get to do what you want to do. And that could be whenever you want it to be, not just age 65 or 70 or 80, whatever it's going to be, when whatever your age is right now, you're ready to retire. Yeah. So I am, again, I talked about control. I like to have control. And nobody cares about my money more than I care about my money. And the same thing about nobody cares about yours any more than you. If you don't care about it, nobody cares about it.
Right.
So building it is on you. And having cash flow now lets you live the life you want to live now and not just wait and live for the future. I mean, everything in our world is about now, right? Everything. Right. You got instant access to everything. And we're Amazon, still saving our money for retirement. We're still saving our money for some future thing.
Yep.
Yes, we need that, but we need to get the cash flow so we can do what we want to do now. If you don't want to keep doing whatever job it is you have right now, right? If you don't have the other cash flow, you have no choice. You're stuck. You are handcuffed to that thing. Having other income gives you the ability to say thanks. Or if somebody's trying to get you to do a job in a way you don't want to, he's like, if you don't want me to do this job the way I want to do it, just let me know and I can go do something else. So it's those kinds of feelings, that kind of security, and that's real security, guys, knowing that you can walk away from anything. I don't want to be in this job. I don't want to be in this relationship. And you have the financial ability to take care of yourself and everything you want to do. That is security. And that's what I want for every single woman in the world, honestly.
Yeah. It's a very freeing feeling once you have that. I mean, once you're passive income, essentially once you have enough income passively or, active from investments,
Yeah.
that it covers your expenses,
Yep.
you're pretty much retired, in the
You're
sense.
good. You are good. And now you can really open up your mind and start to make a lot more.
Right.
It just becomes, it's such an interesting phenomenon to not have to know you don't have to go do that W-2 job.
Right.
It just opens you up to so much, like, oh, I can go do this. And then the whole creativity of investing comes in, and things just get so much prettier. I don't know. Did you ever play have you played Cash Flow 101?
Oh yeah. I have the board
And
game.
yeah, and the feeling of getting in the fast track is
Mhm.
like, it's like, oh my goodness, the air is so much lighter out here.
It's much more fun, that's for sure.
It is. It is. That
Mhm.
I'd love that game just for
Yeah,
that
me
very
too.
reason, and getting understanding that feeling, just understand the feelings of what it feels like to invest. And you can lose in that game, but you don't lose your own money. But
Right.
you get to learn how you react to a loss.
Yep.
It's so good, so good.
Mhm. Yep, totally agree. Do you have any daily habits that you do that kind of keep you motivated or, focused on success in your goals?
Right now, no.
Yeah.
When I'm at my, well, and I'm not going to say no. I actually have a meditation practice, and it's
Hmm.
like I have a headphones I put on, and has a sounds that gets my mind just off, that
Yeah.
I do in the morning. Most mornings lately I've been a little off, but most mornings I'm doing that, and that's my number one. I work really hard not to sit up out of bed and grab my phone. It's like,
Yeah. As soon as you get up.
no, I tell
Mhm.
myself no.
Yeah.
But it's a struggle sometimes. It's like, okay, what happened?
Hmm.
I work really hard to go to bed at by 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Yep.
Those are my big ones. I'm right now starting my a little more health, uh, mm, what's the right word? Optimization. We put it
Hmm.
that way. So just getting all my body the way I want it to be, getting by my body, my internal body the way I want it to be. Started
Hmm.
looking at a bunch of different things with a naturopath. And in addition to, like, people are like, you're an MD, what are you doing, a naturopath? Yeah, naturopath. Because
Hmm.
physicians, we all know that Western medicine can't cure everything. That's a whole nother path. But
Right.
I go to a Western medicine doctor 100%. I go to a dentist, all those kinds of things, but a naturopath to help me with all those other kinds of things. So those are the kinds of things I'm working on right now. It's always a journey,
Hmm.
which I'm learning. I always thought, like, okay, once I get to this weight, it'll be fine, right? No, you got to keep on. I got to keep working to stay here.
Right.
Okay, well, come on, you
Yep.
I got
Just
to
like
keep
investing, you get to that
exercising.
spot in the hill, then you go to the next one, right?
Yes, exactly,
Yep,
exactly.
exactly. But I agree with you. I mean, I've been looking at that lately too, and gut health is a real thing. When you start kind of eating healthier foods and really watching that, your mind, for me anyways, really cleared up.
Yes, clearer mind, more energy,
Hmm.
and I sleep better.
Yep.
So those are maybe that's why I'm not staying awake worrying about things going on in the country, especially things I can't
Right.
do anything about it. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing. Is I can do what I can do.
Hmm.
And that's how I think about the rule. Like, okay, how the rules change. Okay, how do I play in this game? And that's how I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, they just raised rates yesterday, another 25 basis points, but historically, they're not that high
It's
if you
not that
think about
high.
it.
I
Yeah.
agree. And
Yeah.
people are panicking about it. And I mean, I've been alive a long time, and I mean, I don't remember 100%, but I was alive when interest rates were double
Hmm.
digit interest rates, and people could you just got to figure out your deals a little differently. Bottom
Right.
line, any deal will work as long as the numbers work. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. And I just had that conversation with one of my clients the other day. It's like, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. Just make sure the numbers work. Don't
Yeah.
think about the interest rate. Factor it in as a thing. And if you can't buy the thing and make money on it, then it's just not the right price. Get the price right.
Hmm. Yep.
Fix what you got to fix. Yeah.
Exactly. And it should open up a lot more creative finance opportunities as well, I think. I think
Yeah.
we'll see
Which
that.
is fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part.
Like, how can I
Exactly.
make this work?
Yeah.
Not, that's always the key, is the question you ask yourself, and make sure you're asking, not this won't work. This just won't work. It's like, well, how can it work? And that's
Hmm.
when all the fun starts.
Exactly. Yep. Totally agree. So, Now, Felicia, I got one more question. We'll get into our 5 to Thrive. But first, how do people reach out and contact you or find you online?
They can find me on at my website, moneywithmission.com. So you can go on there. We have a lot of downloads, a lot of free information. You can get 7 steps to building resilient wealth. You can download the ebook, How to Create Wealth That Outlives You. And you can book a call if you want to have a chat. My email, which is not the best way to reach me because I get so many emails like everybody, like it'll get buried. So if you send me an email and I don't respond, no, it's not personal, send it again. And maybe I'll be checking my emails a day. Felecia, my first name, Felecia at moneywithmission.com. That's probably the best.
Okay. I hear you on the emails. Yeah, it's text message and stuff is definitely faster for me. So
don't hesitate to schedule a call. Let's book a call and we have a chat. No, there's nothing like that's how we get to know each other. I love getting to know people and increasing my network.
Absolutely. So I guess what would be your number one takeaway you'd want the audience to absorb from this interview?
Yeah, and I don't know if we actually said this, but start sooner than later with your investing, number one.
Yep.
And realize that your 401k is not the answer to your air quotes retirement. You have to be a little bit more active with your money than just putting it into your 401k.
Totally agree with you. Great point. So now we go our 5 to Thrive, how we wrap the show up. So this is the word association game. I'll just rattle off 5 words, rapid fire, and just give me the first word or phrase that comes to mind. Okay. The only thing is you can't repeat the same answer.
Okay. And I'm nervous that I got it. I'm going to roll my shoulders and get ready for this.
This is the fun part. Here we go. First one, syndication.
Build wealth.
Asset-backed investments.
Real estate.
MDs in real estate.
Okay, I got to figure out just a shorter statement than what came to my head. MD in real estate. The best way to have the life you want to build wealth.
Yeah, that's good. Wealth.
Being able to leave, this is a paragraph, leaving what you want to the world, the improvements that you want in the world, whether it's just for your family, whether it's for your charity, whether it's for whatever, wealth is not just for you, it is for a greater good.
And last one, Felecia Froe.
Working to give professional women the financial ability to leave any job or relationship that is not in their best interest.
I like that one. That's good. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here and a lot of fun.
Thank you, Andrew.